Today we take on Wizzywing! Whiz-wing. Long-time Batrep guy. We're fighting him.
Sometimes the narration of these recordings are not done under ideal circumstances. These are those recordings.
I can't underscore just how much trash talk this guy puts in the local forums, but on some level I really wanted to face off against him. And here we are, in the final round, surprising even myself that I was up against Wizzywing? Because, my goodness, Mr. Pancakes himself is a good player. And the fact that we were tied, I think me, him, and some other guy was tied for third to make first place. This is a fated engagement. We're going to kick butt and take names. Because, I mean, the metric load of trash talk this guy, I mean, just seriously, just so salty. But I digress, he's a good player and I love playing against him. Fun games, all. This map is actually my own. It is based on Kursk. You can see a lot of big open fields. That's good for me. We're playing a fair fight game. That's great too, because I'm infantry. And on some small level, I was terrified of ever facing another KV-1 horde, so I've got a lot of anti-tank guns. So check mark for 3. This game couldn't go better. As he pointed out that this map actually kind of favors me considerably, especially against a Soviet horde, because, I mean, there's not a whole lot of places on this board in which he can hide. And you can see in deployment that I've actually got my game face on, because I am delaying putting down all the anti-tank assets as far back in the deployment as I possibly can. After he's already deployed everything, putting the 88s here, the PAC-40s here, and the Stugs here, denying any kind of approach that isn't going to involve all kinds of burning, salty tears. But unfortunately, I get first turn, so yay! He recces up the BA-64s right here, and I'm left just kind of twiddling my thumbs and kind of decorating my side of the board, because I play a lot of infantry, and I like decorating the boards. I love making boards, so I'm going to relish any game that allows me to decorate my side of the board, even though the game's already playing, because, I mean, what am I going to do? Just kind of sing Kumbaya? But aside from singing Kumbaya, I send some long-range well-wishing from the 88s, bagging one of the KV-1s, and I send a couple other shots from the PAC-40s into the T-34s, bail, and I do believe destroy another. He does get air support, having found a nice juicy amount of targets in the woods. It will get waved off despite getting 2 airplanes, and he starts moving his tanks forward, seeing that this hill of death that I've got marked right here is just going to be a bucket of pain for him, because he has nowhere to hide from all that impressive AT assets. And as he moves forward, they're really, I mean, he's put in a really rough position, and he's kind of rough about it, because I gotta admit, I wouldn't want to be in his position either, because this is just terrifying. I've got just about everything stacked for me, right? And as my turn rolls around again, we just start lighting up all the different ways that I can destroy more tanks, because this turn ends up being more fruitful than the last. Bagging, I do believe, 4 more T-34s. We're going to try to light up that smaller T-34 company, because I want to try to pick off the units as I can to try to force a company rout as soon as possible. That Fearless is pretty nasty. And I even managed to get the artillery to range in with the 120mm mortars ranging in on the BA-64s. Managed to kill a couple Stewarts and bag one of the BA-64s. Even the Stugs get in on the action, because there's not enough room to hide them all. T-34s end up saying, sayonara, sayonara, we want to go to the Japanese front. Clearly there's less 88s on the Japanese front, and they just bail out, decide to leave the board. Soviets continue to creep forward under the withering barrage of HE fire from range. The German commander can see no better way for this to go. How could this go wrong? As he starts moving all his units out of range of the PAC-40s. And I decide, okay, well that's smart. Let's move the PAC-40s out. So I Order the troops to hump it into the field. We're going to take the Pack 40s out there. We're going to be like little 5-man tanks with no armor. It's going to be awesome, right? This won't come back to haunt me. 120mm mortars continue to make a complete mess of all the Russian, quote-unquote, tanks that are trying to hide behind this hill. We managed to kill a couple more. We managed to, between it and the Stugs, completely destroy all but 3 of the little Stuarts. Oh, it's great. We managed to kill a few more KV-1s on the approach. Air support continues to make a mess of things that they can see, and things are just going swimmingly. We continue to make shots at range, but those KV-1s have a lot of armor. They keep bouncing. So we keep moving the Pack 40s slowly, and if I had trucks, so help me, I would have brought them up to move the 88s, but they're stuck where they are, and he's stuck trying to hide from them. And my buddy starts moving forward. He's going to try to swing his way into the center as he's now making his position very clear to what he's going to try to do. You can see where he's measuring, where he's trying to go. He realizes that those anti-tank guns are actually kind of vulnerable, and he can at least buy some time off of all the threat that I'm putting on the KV-1s by just moving the Stuarts over there to try to, entertain them. Did I mention those KV-1s have tank escorts? Because I sure forgot. That's not going to come back to haunt me either. KV-1s move up through the hedgerow. They see their German infantry before them, and they are going to make a mess of the situation that they see, and they just start pumping them full around. So many machine gun dice as I start placing them on just about everything. Nearly everyone makes their save, gratefully. As a mark of the pro player he is, he's very, very careful. You can see all this measuring. He's trying to wrestle victory away from what was a very dim situation to start with, and he opts not to move one of the KV-1s in because he would rope in the Stugs over on the side and it would just light him up. So he moves in, takes some swings, manages to kill quite a bit of infantry, more than I thought he would be able to get away with. The CIC is over there. He motivates to go in, throws the Panzernacke in there, manages to bail one of the tanks, but in the end, everyone gets pushed off. That's bad. I have to move the Stugs out to take advantage of the side armor shots. This is the only way we're going to kill them. Now this puts me in a very tight position, as there's not a whole lot I can actually use to hurt those KV-1s. They're putting a lot of defensive dice out. I have to try to take them out at range, and with those assault riders, it makes it very difficult to actually assault. So what do you do in this situation? I mean, they're all up in my line. So I decided, let's send this infantry position over there. I mean, they got some Panzernackers. I got the CIC. Why not? They're in a better position than the platoon that was assaulted by the KV-1s in just his turn prior. Motivation, they move in, they swing, they don't do as much damage as they probably need to. KV-1s respond in kind, nearly killing everyone, and ultimately the assault is pushed back as the infantry go fleeing out of the corn out into the open field as the KV-1s are sucked away in their reconciliation move back towards the 88 over here. Shh, be quiet. Because my buddies certainly forgot about the 88s. Gosh knows I forgot for a turn. Pack 40s try to get rid of the rest of the Stuarts, and they do in what is probably the best part of that turn. Their air support comes in as the Stugs manage not to do anything but glaze the armor of the KV-1s. He's hoping that his air support's going to be able to do the rest as the KV-1s continue thundering across the field to the northern end of the board to take care of the infantry that have just ran out into the open. And thus starts what's probably the smartest move of the game. As he begins moving forward, he starts peppering the infantry out in the open with machine guns. Surprisingly, doesn't manage to kill much, and then follows in with the assault that will define the game. As he moves forward, he's able to rope in that poor Pack 40 that's facing in the wrong direction. And unfortunately, he had lost through some combined fire from the Stuarts before his command team, so he's just kind of sitting out there. He couldn't even stormtrooper and move if he wanted to reorient. Well, that's rough. The KV-1s move in, swing, they kill everyone to a man, and they manage to wipe out even the guns. And in his consolidation, look at where he moves. Shh, don't tell him! Because God knows I was on pins and needles. I was just beating my friend who was looking at the games like, don't say anything, don't say anything. Because I was so afraid he was going to give away the big problem. The 88s are right here that he had been running away from. And in one fell swoop, he was seizing defeat from the jaws of victory. Having secured the objective, I start throwing 6 rounds, 6 hits into the KV-1s. 3 kills, 2 bales. Oh, it was beautiful. He was down to no functioning tanks. Oh, it was just beautiful. And with him failing to have any tanks functioning on the objective, I've bought myself another turn as I desperately try to find a way to force another morale check. As he passes the morale check on the tanks, I go ahead and send some more artillery on the BA-64s, kill one of them, cause a morale check over there, but fearless being what it is, he passes that. He then follows in with a company morale check, and he passes that as well. And even though by the end of the turn I'm capable of destroying another KV-1 and bailing another one out, he still has the objective. At that point, he literally has 2 units on the board, but he manages to win. It's a very, very narrow 4-3 win for the Soviets. And as I understand it, put me in 3rd for the tourney. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, just do a little better every time, right? Well, this has been an Ouchies Batrep, and thanks for watching. This game was actually really, really close, and he's a great player to actually pull off the kind of win that he did, because in any lesser hands, it would have been just a disaster from turn 1.
Shooting.
Okay.
8mm into the KVs.
Okay.
6 shots.
Okay.
Eating 2s. All 6 hit.
Oh, you were shooting at the students to there, right? Oh dear God.